and it's time. It's time to create our main menu. What I have done to set everything up, to make things faster, is I've just created a scene called main menu and added a control node along with a color rect for the background, margin container, and our trusty fader that we'll use to fade things in and out with. And now it is the margin container that we will now turn our attention to. How are we going to structure this? Well, I see 3 panels myself. One panel for the title, which will go all the way across. One panel for, or 2 panels down here, one with the main menu over here, and perhaps a graphic over here. So that's what I'm thinking. So what that would entail would be something on the order of adding a child node called a vertical box container. And then inside that, I would add a label. And that label would contain our title. And notice the label is expanding all the way, which is exactly what we want. I'm going to center it. And also I've created, I've gone in and grabbed a font from Kenny. It's Kenny Pixel font. Thank you very much, Kenny. And I've created 2 dynamic fonts from it, a 24 and a 40. And I'm going to use that 40 here in theme overrides. Fonts, and we will say load our pixel 40. And so we get a larger font like that. If I F6 this is what we get. Nice, go jump. Nice and crisp, if you will. That reminds me something else we need to do is go into project settings. We need to change our main scene from game to main menu. There, whenever we load, we'll go to the main menu first instead. Now, we want inside this VBox container. I'm trying to think of how we would want to do this. I guess we'll do horizontal box container, and inside that we'll do another vertical box container. And be aware that, and then this is where we're gonna put our buttons in this vertical box. This will be our quote, our menu, if you will. So we'll add a couple of buttons, duplicate them, and really all we're gonna have is probably start, like quit. That's about it. Not a whole lot. But I want to take those and also want to override their font as well and use that larger font 24, and really that stinks. Maybe we should turn that. Oh, look. I guess maybe that's better. I probably should do the same thing for the label as well. I have that filter on, which probably I do not want. Yeah, maybe we just leave it that way. If it's starting to quit, they're not the prettiest buttons in the world, but they'll do. We could theme them, but we're not. That's not the exercise at this point in time. This VBox container, let's look at the size flags. You know, I want to make sure that we grab of that. And really the HBox container is expanding, and let's see, we'll make sure the size flags here, vertical expand, there we are. And so this one should now expand. Oh, we already have a little bit of a margin here. I would really like to push this over a little bit more, and perhaps we should shrink. Instead of expanding and filling, we should shrink center. I think I like that better. And let's go over like 70 or so. Or we leave them all the way on that side. I don't know. Like that. Kind of an odd looking menu. Again, not the most interesting thing to look at, but I'm just thinking here. Well, let's run it. How about we run it real quick and then we connect these up? And oh yes, we have some click issues. As you can see, I can't click on the buttons, and that's probably because... Is it the background that we're having trouble with? I don't think it is. No, it's background. Probably all of these other... And we'll probably need to take the mouse and we'll say pass the mouse. Or maybe just ignore. Let's just ignore the mouse. We all have things that we need to ignore at times, don't we? Pass. I think ignore is correct. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing those. Just use ignore. And that should be for all of them. Did we get ignore set for all of them? Looks like we did. Stop there, I don't know. Ignore. This fader should be no... well, maybe it is this fader. But I have it set to pass through on that fader. It is that fader. Let's check that out, shall we? Mouse. It should pass that. Let's just say ignore. See if that works. Yeah, okay. Just ignore. And I'll just leave it like that. So again, if we wanted to play with the button or the button look, the look of the buttons, we could do that. But we're really just concerned more with just getting a menu up and going for the beginning part. Nothing at all very wonderful looking or fancy. There should be a... Maybe not. Okay. Suppose we could play with the anchor. Move that around. I think we'll just leave it. There. That other state here. Now we can take these buttons and we can create a little bit larger. Say 50. Makes them a little bit bigger so that at least they fill things out a little more. 150 is a little big. How about 100? 100 is a little big. Yeah, and so what I'm thinking is this, and then maybe we grab, and it doesn't really need to go in the margin here. I think we add a, yeah, we're not going to add something that needs to go in the margin container. Let's add a sprite. Put it, matter of fact, let's add a node 2D. We're gonna add a couple of things. Our character. We're gonna add an animation player, sprite. Watch what I'm going to do here. Player. Go to the sprite. I want to copy properties. I want to go to the sprite and I want to paste properties. Our little fellow here. So actually I don't want to take him. Did I screw that up? Yes, I did. Reset his please. I want to grab the whole character itself. Somewhere around here. And then for the animation, on the animation player, I want to grab probably the animation. We could grab all or any of these really. I want to grab the idle. Save that. We're just going to save it on the top. Call it idle. Hopefully it's not, I don't think it's using that other one. Then I want to load that same animation since we did a save as, hopefully. What I'm saying is hopefully that the player I didn't just, by doing that save, I didn't just link that idle animation to the saved file. Because that's not what I want to do. I'm going to change it. So what I want to do is take here, go here, and grab the scale. I want it to start at 20. Maybe not 20. Maybe like, good. Start at 16. So I'm going to try to, and it's weird that it always does that. I want to go, for some reason you have to do it twice. Oh no. Oh no. Stand by. Okay. I think we're okay. We're better. Okay. Try this again. 16. 16. And I want to keyframe. No, I want to keyframe. What? I think it's just, that's a weird bug. Oh, I don't want to keyframe it there. I want to remove that. I want to delete that key, this key. That's the key that I want. The, say like 15, 5. Keyframe that. Play it and see. Let's lengthen it to 3. And let's grab this and this animation player, let's tell it. It should work. Let's okay, I need to tell it to play that automatic. I didn't do that. Here. There we go. So it's a simple, not that great looking, not the most amazing looking menu in the world, but it is function menu. Check something. That's right, we've got the keep aspect. All right, so then we have this. Let me go back and make sure that the player haven't messed up my play, and see, it did do what I was afraid it was going to do, which I'm not sure how. Hold on, let me check something. Okay, so I went back and I reverted the changes to the player. So apparently whenever you come in here and you do a save or a save as, Godot basically then links that file to that animation. Is not what I wanted to do, so just be aware that it does that. But anyway, I have everything. Everything is back to the way that it was before. So we're done with the player. We still have our funny little go jump menu here with our character breathing and whatnot. Again, maybe we'll come back and we'll add some animations that he play at random. But let's go ahead and get these buttons hooked up. Hopefully I have enough time to do this. I already have a script. We go inside the box container. When we take a look at these buttons, we can say pressed. Let's go ahead and connect this. We will connect it to the main menu script on start. And we will connect this button by pressed on. Quit button pressed. So now we can take and use those utils that we created in the last episode. We can say fade. We'll do fade out. And what we want is the background. We need a tween. That's right. So let's create a tween. Let's add a tween to the scene tree here. Hello, tween. Let's say, let's do 1/4 of a second. And we don't, let's pause the scene tree. So we want to do this. We want to yield on this. If I remember correctly, it's completed. And then we get the, let's run this and see if that works. Not background. I'm sorry. It's fader. 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 Doesn't look like our fader is doing what I do. Of course, that was no, we did test it. We tested it last time. Actually, my fader to be at the very end. Let's make sure. So we should see that fade out in actuality. Let's go and look. Let's look at you sure that we have it correct. Color rect, and we should say, we should really replace those with rect or something. Replace. Those are good, but make sure that oh, I didn't do that. There we go. Rect. So rect.modulate. Yeah, that should work. Oh, I think since we're pausing, I believe we need to say, where is it? Pause mode. We want the tweener to always process. We don't want it to pause. And that's the problem. Okay, cool. Got it working. Let's go back to main menu. Let's go for like half a second. That's a little bit, yeah. Half a second's good. So on the start button press, we want to do the same thing. We want to pause. And we want to switch scene. Get tree. Change scene. Game. Yeah. So I know there's not a really smooth transition there, but it'll do for now. It'll do for now. And the other thing that I wanted to do was funk steady. I don't know if I need to, well, we'll see. What I want to do is actually fade in. In the same manner. I'll fade in, start. So the menu itself fades in. Which probably means, gonna have to on. Do I need to make it black? Kind of. Yeah, there we go. So that's interesting that the fade in, okay, so that means that our fade in function, we probably should say, when I fade in, I want it to start at 1. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. Basically, that's a different type of... Oh, that was the problem, I think. I think we want it to start at 1 every time. So when we fade in, we could actually make that a parameter or not touch it. I'm sitting here thinking if we should leave that or make it a parameter. We may want to fade in from, let's leave it for now. So basically now what we have is a functional main menu, not a very pretty one, but it's functional and it will get the job done. Now the next thing to do would be to be able to return to the main menu via some other menu. But that is for another time, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining me on this a little bit longer episode. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.